Hi to all the alumni. I wish you all a good Erev Yom Tov, an Erev Shabbos. Just to share a short word with you about the forthcoming Yom Tov, Haba Aleinu L'Tovah. Everybody knows Klal Yisrael called out Na'aseh v'Nishma. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu offered them the Torah, they all answered Na'aseh v'Nishma. So the Gemara says in Shabbos that Na'aseh v'Nishma is a secret code that the angels, the Malachei Hashem, use. The Gemara says that Hashem said, Mi gila rozeh, who revealed the secret, Shemalachei Hasharas mishtamshim boi. What's the secret? What's the connection between those two words, Na'aseh v'Nishma, and the Malachei Hasharas? What is it that the angels have that they say Na'aseh v'Nishma that we connected to when we recited, when we said Na'aseh v'Nishma? But the answer is, what does Na'aseh v'Nishma mean? The Gemara that goes on with the story that there was an Apikoros that he laughed and he mocked at the Jews, and he said, they're a Amma Piziza, they're a hasty nation, they do things without thinking. That's not a very praiseworthy thing to say, Na'aseh v'Nishma. You don't know what you're going to do anyway, you don't know what it is. How can you say that you're going to fulfill and you're going to do something, and then Nishma, and then you're going to hear what it is? It might be out of your context, it might be out of your kochos. Like all the other nations, they first asked HaKadosh Baruch Hu for an example, for a sample mitzvah, to see whether they can connect to it. So what, that makes logical sense. They seem to be more settled, civilized people than we are. We just throw out statements of Na'aseh v'Nishma, even though we don't know whether we can fulfill them at all. So what is the Maila of Na'aseh v'Nishma? What's its connection to the Chachamim, to the Malachim? But the answer is, and this is what Chag HaShavuos really is, the answer is, what's unique about the Malachei Hasharas, more so the man? Malachei Hasharas, the angels, they don't have anything else in their whole existence other than keeping the Ratzon Hashem. They don't have any other agenda. They don't have anything else on the agenda. They have one thing. They're created to carry out Hashem's will. They're shluchim to carry out Hashem's Ratzon. And therefore the Malachim say, we don't have to hear what it is. Hashem created us to carry out His shlichus. So we don't have to know what the shlichus is. We are created to carry out His shlichus. And therefore Na'aseh, we're going to do it. I don't know what it is. However, the Umas HaOlam, the Goyim, the nations, they have their own agenda. They have their own agenda. They don't mind spending some time involved in spirituality, but they have their own agenda. They have to hear a sample mitzvah first to see if it doesn't clash with their own agenda. Klal Yisrael follow this way the Malachei Hasharas. Klal Yisrael, the difference between, one of the fundamental differences between the religion, between Judaism and other religions is that Judaism is a religion like Malachim. Judaism is a religion like the Pasuk says in Mishlei, B'chol derachecha de'ehu, that whatever we're doing it while fulfilling HaKadosh Baruch Hu's will, Hashem's shlichus down here. We don't have another agenda. Our agenda is to be Mekayim Ratzon Hashem. Hashem wants us to do a lot of things. Hashem wants us to learn and to daven and to eat and to sleep and to work and to go on vacation and to play and to do exercise, recreation. Everything is part of what Hashem wants from us. In that way, we were the same as the Malachim. And therefore, when Klal Yisrael said Na'aseh v'Nishma, that really is the hallmark of Judaism. That is the hallmark of what it really means to be a Yid. That we like the Malachim. We don't have another agenda. And therefore, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving to us whatever He's going to tell us to do, this is carrying out His will. This is the shlichus that we have. This is the Yom Tov. This is the Yom Tov of Shavuos. This is the Chag HaShavuos. And this explains us why one of the things we do on Chag HaShavuos is we read Megillas Rus. Why do we read Megillas Rus? There's a lot of reasons. Either because it talks about the Zman HaKotzeh, the harvesting time, or because Rus, David HaMelech comes from Rus, and David HaMelech was Niftar on Shavuos. But according to what we're saying, we can understand, because there's something very moving about this whole experience that Rus had with her mother-in-law, Naomi. Naomi says to Rus, after she lost her husband, after Rus lost her husband, after Naomi's got no more money, she cannot help Rus. Rus, who's the daughter of the king of Moab, she's a princess, and she's been relegated to going to fields and to pick up leka, to pick up sheaves that were left behind. She's become a beggar. Naomi says to Rus, I have nothing more to offer you. I have nothing more to offer you. Go home. Go back to your parents' house. Go back to the palace of your father, the king of Moab. I have no money, no husband. You have no husband. This is a poor life, a life of dire poverty. It's not for you. You were grown up in riches, and you cannot reduce yourself from riches to rags. And therefore, Naomi begs her to go back. Rus clings to Nomi, and she says, where you go, I go. Whatever's going to be with you is with me. Where you die, I'm going to die. Where you're buried, I'm going to bury it. What's Rus saying over here? Rus is saying that she feels that Judaism for her is her life and is her whole essence. Her father can offer her all the riches in the world. It's not her. Once a person feels Judaism, he feels that this is his essence, his life is his Yiddishkeit. That's why we read Rus and Shavuos. Shavuos is the time where we say Nasa v'Nishma. Shavuos is the time where Klal Yisrael realized that Yiddishkeit, this is our life. We don't have anything else in our life other than Yiddishkeit. And whatever else we're doing, all that we do in our life is all incorporated into our Yiddishkeit. It's exactly the message of Rus. It's exactly the message of Klal Yisrael. And that's why we know that Klal Yisrael became Gerim, converts, at Matan Torah. Rus was a convert. We know the Rambam, Shulchan Aruch and Rambam, they paskin that when a person comes to convert, is Beis Din push him away. Beis Din reject him and reject him and reject him until he comes again, knocking again, knocking again, knocking again. Why? There's a mitzvah of a haftam es hager. There's many mitzvahs in the Torah of loving a ger, loving a convert. Why is our first interaction with him one of pushing him away? But the answer is because Judaism is a nation, Judaism is a religion where we feel this is our essence. When they reject a goy that comes to convert, they don't only reject him, they tell him that this is not for you. It's not for you. Logically, it doesn't make sense that a non-Jew should want to convert. The Jews are a nation that have been persecuted. It's a difficult nation to be part of. And they explain him in the most logical terms why it's not worth it for him. If he persists, it shows that there's something inside him that tells him that this is my life. And if this is my life, you can give me every logical explanation why I shouldn't become a member. But nevertheless, if I feel this is my life, I cannot control it. Klal Yisrael became Gerim by Ma'amad HaSinai because Klal Yisrael realized that Torah mitzvahs and living the life of a Yid is our life. That is the Chag. That is Chag HaShavuos. And that's why there's a famous Medrash Tanchuma in Parshas Kisavai. I think the Medrash Tanchuma writes. The Medrash Tanchuma writes in Parshas Kisavai that the fox went to the river and he saw the fish swimming wildly because the fishermen were coming with their nets. And the fox said to the fish, "Come out of the water, and I'll protect you." The fish answered to the fox, "You shaita, you fool. They say you're the wise of the animals. You're a fool. If in the water, which is our life, we're in danger, you take us out, it's for sure we don't have a life. Of course we're going to die." And this Rabbi Akiva told Popus ben Yehuda this mashal. When Rabbi Akiva was jailed for teaching Torah, and there was a death sentence hanging over him. And they asked him, "Why did you teach Torah in public?" He gave this mashal. Klal Yisrael is a fish in the water. A fish in the water is his life. You can't tell him to go out of the water. It's the same thing. We have to feel that Yiddishkeit, we have to feel we are fish, and the water is our Yiddishkeit. We don't have any other agenda. A fish doesn't have any other agenda other than being in the water. We also don't have any other. Anything that's part of our lives is incorporated in the water, is incorporated in our Yiddishkeit. That's the sod of Nasa v'Nishma. This is something that we are very, very challenged with in this generation. Once upon a time in earlier generations, man's work was part of his avodas Hashem. His work was part of his avodah. He understood why he's working. He understood what he's doing. He davened properly first. He learned a few hours first, and he went out to work with a kovid rosh. He went out to work realizing that this is also part of his avodah. Today it's almost become two zones. It's almost become two separate parts. We have different agendas. We have different parts of our life. There's the spiritual part of our life that we do in the morning when we daven or when we have a share. But then we go out to our own life. That's a very bad mistake. That's undermining the whole concept of Matan Torah. Matan Torah said that our life is our Yiddishkeit. Our life is our Judaism. We may have to go out and work all day long. That's also part of our avodas Hashem. And we have to go with the mindset to serve Hashem b'chol derechecha de'ehu. And when we incorporate everything as part of our avodah, then we'll be zorchem etz Hashem. B'yom hahu yeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad v'mehera b'yameinu amen.